Chapter 21, 80. The power of the super battleship. Aren't they an inferior civilization? Where did they get all these terrifying weapons? Ban couldn't help but roar in anger. This is completely different from what the intelligence shows. They have never taken the technological level of the human race seriously. In their eyes, they are just a group of inferior natives. This is not arrogance, but a fact they have witnessed with their own eyes. It was clearly just a year ago that their troops invaded the territory of Huashu Kingdom and slaughtered them like ants. If it weren't for the intervention of the Qinling Dragon Clan, the Huashu Kingdom would have been destroyed. But it's only been a little over a year. Why does it seem like the other party has evolved for tens of thousands of years, and the level of their weapons has been incredibly improved? At this time, the crisis did not only come from the human coalition outside the city. The city of Wulwan Empire has become chaotic due to the continuous explosions. Zhu Yu quietly appeared on the street, looking at the flames of war burning everywhere. The fire in her eyes became particularly bright. She was stunned for a moment, and then a devilish smile appeared on her face. She hadn't laughed like this in a long time. It's so beautiful. Then, let the hunting begin. In this chaotic world, she acted recklessly. This time, she remembered what Zhang Yi had said to her. There is no one from the Wulwan Empire who cannot be killed, because this is a life-and-death showdown between species. So she, like a black god of death, began to ruthlessly hunt down every lizard man with high-level spiritual essence. During this process, a large amount of black mist spread from her body. Lizard Man's silver-armored general, Smoke, Bideskar's ability, highly corrosive smoke, can turn all living things into plants. The thick smog that accompanied the smoke from the burning city was impossible to detect. Every lizard man who came into contact with the smoke would quickly turn into wood. They screamed in panic and watched their bodies turn into wood. When they are completely turned into wooden men, beautiful flowers will bloom from the wood, and more smoke will spew out from the stamens. There is no need to worry about anything. Just harvest the lives of all lizard men in an upright and indiscriminate manner. Just like Bideska and others slaughtered humans in various regions of Huashu Kingdom. The Wulwan Empire has more than 200 huge energy towers that provide energy for the huge iron curtain in the sky. The security here is extremely strict, and the energy that can be produced is hundreds of times higher than that of nuclear reactors made by current human technology. This is the crystallization of the highest technology of the Wulwan Empire. Anyone who wants to invade here will have to pay a huge price. However, this place is difficult to invade, but the energy transmission pipelines and the long pipeline lines cannot be strictly guarded. Normally, they would specifically indicate that the pipelines were for military use in areas where they passed, to prevent ordinary lizard men from accidentally touching them. However, these things have become signposts, allowing others to clearly analyze the route of the energy transmission pipeline. Zhang Yi had already found out all this when he came last time. And under the earth, the big Totoro, who has been regarded as the king by the diggers, is leading a large number of diggers to frantically destroy all energy transmission pipelines. These creatures have little combat power except for their fangs and claws, which can even destroy diamonds. Therefore, even energy transport pipelines made of special materials are not a problem for them. They smash with their claws and bite with their teeth. Soon, the Iron Curtain Control Center of the Wulwan Empire discovered that there were problems with dozens of energy transmission pipelines in the city. It was as if a river had been cut off and energy could not be transmitted normally. What's going on? The official in charge felt cold all over and cold sweat dripped down his head. According to the picture, at least 1/5 of the pipes are blocked. This is wartime. This is a fatal problem. Could it be the previous explosion that affected it? No, that's impossible. All the pipelines are buried more than 1,000 meters underground. Even the largest explosion wouldn't be able to affect the energy transmission through the pipelines. And there were problems in dozens of places at the same time. The official clutched his head tightly and screamed frantically. Could it be that the enemy engineers have already infiltrated our Wulwan Empire? No one could give him an answer because it sounded too outrageous. Their Wulwan Empire has a very complete defense system, and the Eye of Heaven system can monitor everything that happens within the entire empire. How is it possible for a large engineering team to sneak in silently and attack multiple energy transmission pipelines at the same time the moment the war broke out? Go check, find those places, and repair them immediately. There must be no problems with the energy transmission. The officer gave the order. But the faces of his men were full of embarrassment. There's chaos and turmoil outside right now, and we've also been affected here. We really can't spare any manpower to go to those places to repair the damage. Although the Energy Agency is a very important department of the Empire, the people working there are all technical workers. If something goes wrong on a normal day, it would be no problem to let them repair it. But now, if the enemy attacks, they must first go through a battle before they can repair it. That is not their responsibility. After all, no one wants to die in vain. Officials from the Energy Department scratched their heads and immediately decided to contact the military and ask them to send troops for support. As a result, it took a long time for the communication to be established because all places were talking to the military at that time. It is true that your energy sector is important, but the defense industry sector is equally important, as it contains a large number of imperial military secrets. The information department is also important. If the information department is captured and the enemy controls the entire information network of the Wulwan Empire, the entire empire will immediately be paralyzed. And these departments all require the military to provide them with true protection. Take the energy sector, for example. Their importance must be ranked behind the management department of the Iron Curtain. For a time, due to the delay in various administrative affairs, the Wulwan Empire was in chaos. However, the pace of war will not stop because of their internal affairs. When the 3 super battleships appeared outside Dongcheng district, a huge sense of oppression also appeared along with the 3 main guns. "Blast it open for me." Liu Karen's voice was filled with excitement and the pleasure of destroying the enemy's barriers as he gave the order to launch. Chapter 2181. Leave no one behind wherever you go. 3 super battleships in total almost exhausted the entire Huashu Kingdom's military reserves. Originally, Liu Qian believed that 2 super battleships would be able to break through the defense circle of the Wulwan Empire relatively stably. But to be on the safe side, Zhang Yi traveled all over Huashu Kingdom and finally went to the bottom of the sea to find King Jin of the Deep Blue Kingdom. The purpose is just to ask for more metal ore. The materials for the super battleship are a collection of all the abandoned aircraft carriers and warships in the entire Huashu Kingdom, as well as various armors from old eras. Such a huge consumption is just to blow through the indestructible barrier of the Wulwan Empire in one fell swoop during today's siege. The 3 main guns bombarded a node of the Iron Curtain in the sky together. Triple the joy, finally breaking the huge Iron Curtain. Even from all over the Iron Curtain, energy can be transported in an endless supply at the fastest speed. However, there was a gap in energy transportation at this time. Secondly, the explosive power of the 3 super battleships concentrated at one point is too terrifying. Everyone seemed to hear a crackling sound of something breaking. This was an auditory hallucination, but on the huge blue Iron Curtain of the sky, a gap of several hundred square meters was actually blasted open. Along the gap, numerous cracks spread out in all directions. The large section of the city wall in front of the gap collapsed directly, and the remaining energy gathered into a huge red beam of light, directly impacting the East City. The city wall was directly blasted into pieces. No matter what kind of reinforced concrete it was made of, in front of the 3 main guns of the super battleships, it was like a pile of dust and shattered at the touch. The dissipated energy also destroyed everything within dozens of kilometers ahead. Bam and Ryan's pupils constricted. The scene they least wanted to see actually happened. On the Huashu National Coalition side, everyone shouted excitedly like wild beasts after seeing the scene. The resentment that had been pent up in their hearts for a long time was finally released. In the past, when they faced the Wulwan Empire, which had a higher level of civilization, they could only passively take the beatings. Those silver-armored generals and a group of blue-armored warriors broke into the city and slaughtered them wantonly. Today, the offense and defense have changed. They have become the attacking side and are determined to smash the opponent's defense and everything they have. Every soldier was ready to charge forward. But before receiving Yang Xinshin's order, no one took any action. This was an iron army with strict discipline. Even the lowest-ranking soldiers are elite captains from various regions, so they naturally won't act recklessly or impulsively. Yang Xinshin seized this opportunity and immediately issued a combat order. Tear through their defenses and charge in. Leave no one behind. 12 super-large mechanical life forms moved. Although their movements were not fast, each step they took could cover a distance of hundreds of meters. With them as a barrier, behind them came the mighty sound of the earth shaking. The 12 super-large mechanical life forms are just barriers and vanguards, and behind them, there are 50,000 combat-type mechanical life forms. Pure combat aircraft are not comparable to those engineers back then. Their purpose of existence is fighting and killing. Yang Xinshin ordered the human soldiers to stay put and wait until the mechanical army tore open a gap before rushing into the city. Yang Xinshin kept Zhang Yi's words in mind. Mechanical life forms can be recreated if destroyed, but the deaths of these elite warriors cannot be compensated in a short period of time and will become a loss for the entire Huashu kingdom. Zhang Yi decided to put people first and minimize the death toll. Of course, he would not miss the opportunity to fight in order to reduce casualties. After all, victory in the war is the top priority. There were 12 super-large mechanical life forms holding energy shields in front, while the 50,000 mechanical life forms charged forward like mad dogs. They were carrying laser weapons, and countless laser cannons passed through the huge crack like a meteor shower, shooting madly towards the city. Hold the line. We can't let them break into the city, even if it means death. Bang roared and rushed to the front first. His silver armor flashed with dazzling light. His appearance gave many frightened soldiers a backbone. Bang stood in front of the gap, his eyes like poisonous snakes staring at the mad dog-like mechanical life forms. Like a terrifying tide of wild beasts and an army of fearless mechanical life forms, who is not afraid. But at this time Bang knew that he had no way to retreat. If he retreated, the Wulwan Empire would be finished. Bang stared at the mechanical army and suddenly put his hands on the ground. An invisible wave quickly extended out with the earth as the medium. The mechanical army was protected by an energy shield and didn't care about the attacks from various superpowers and laser weapons in front of them. Even the huge laser energy cannons on the wall can only slow down their advance. You know, the Songyuan clan prides itself on technology. Even Zhang Yi, who was once a bishop, felt a headache when facing the energy shields of these things for the first time. What's more, they are just the aliens and technological weapons of the Wulwan Empire. However, Baum's abilities soon became apparent. He passed over the energy shield that was as thick as a city wall. The next moment, the ground beneath the feet of the mechanical army exploded violently, and a strong shock wave hit their bodies. The explosion point was right in the center of the battle formation, and hundreds of mechanical life forms were blasted into the air thousands of meters high. Bomb Maniac Bang. His ability is to transform any material he touches into a bomb with terrifying power. And this force can use matter as a medium. Bang directly turned the soil under the feet of the mechanical army into high-energy explosives, bypassing the energy shield and completing a wave of attacks. This attack directly destroyed more than a dozen mechanical life forms located at the core. But for the entire mechanical army, it was just a negligible loss and could not stop them from advancing. However, Bang's actions inspired the morale of the soldiers. They bravely took up arms and began to block the coalition forces of Huashu State. Bang said in a low voice, "Activate the second line of defense." As he gave the order, a roar was heard from the city wall. Boom! Huge doors opened on the city wall, and the next moment, the Huashu coalition forces saw a group of giant centipedes climbing onto the top of the city wall. They were huge mechanical beasts, all in bright black, with a cold metallic luster on their surface like black iron. It looks like a centipede or a giant earthworm with a body length of over 200 meters. It lies on the city wall, and its head is spiral-shaped, like an electric drill. Staying with me. We'll try to get you more updates. Please like and subscribe and share the video with your friends. Love you all.